Okay folks, we're going to start the Ripple Lapghan. I've already chained 115 with my color A. If you're going to do one color, you just chain with whatever color you're going to use. But I'm using 4 different colors in this, and so we're going to do 2 rows of one, 2 rows of the next, 2 rows of the next. This is a 5.5 millimeter hook, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do 1 double crochet in the 3rd chain from the hook. Now be careful if when you get a long chain that you don't twist your chain. To know if you're on the front side of the chain or the back side, you flip it over. The back side has a post, has a bump right in the center of the chain. That will be the back. So you know you're not on the back if you don't have that center bump. Okay? So we're going to go to the 3rd chain from the hook. The one on the hook doesn't count. 1, 2, 3. And we're going to do a double crochet in that 3rd chain from the hook. Okay. Okay. Then we're going to double crochet in the next 6 chains. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 'Now I don't have this pattern memorized. I have the pattern in front of me just like you should have. Okay. And then 6. So if you're not sure where you left off, this is the 3rd chain from the hook, and then 6 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. Then the next move is double crochet 3 together. We learned how to do this in another video. Okay. Yarn over, pull up your loop, go through the first 2. You don't complete it. You start another one. Yarn over, go through the 2nd chain, pull up a loop, go through the first 2 again. Yarn over, and this is the 3rd chain you're double crocheting together. Go through the first 2, and then you should have 4 loops on your hook. Yarn over and pull through all 4 loops. That way you've made 3 chains into 1 stitch. Okay? All right. Okay. Now, the next thing you do is you do a double crochet in the next 6 chains again. So 1, 2. My yarn is falling all over the place here. Let me get this out of the way because it's going to ruin the focus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And it doesn't hurt to stop for a second and start and check again. Be sure you got all these. This is your double crochet 3 together, and you see what it's doing. It's making a little bump here. After that, you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've got our six double crochets in each of the separate chains. Now, the next we're going to do is 3 double crochets in 1 chain. That's going to make another bump the other direction. So the next chain, you do 3 double crochets in that same chain. All right, yarn. 1, 2 in the same chain, and 3 in the same chain. Okay. Okay. That's 3 in the same chain. Then we're back to doing, in the next 6 chains, do a double crochet in each of the next 6 chains. So here we go again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Whoopsie. Let go of that one. Okay, 5. Make sure, okay, you got the 3 into 1, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Need one more. And 6. All right. And then you double crochet 3 together. So, hook in, up for the first 2, yarn over, go into the next chain, yarn over, pull through the first 2 again, and then go through the 3rd chain, yarn over, pull through the first 2. You should have 4 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 4. And you see what we're doing here. Do you see what's going on here? You have a downward point, then you have an upward curve. It's not as sharp as the point down here, but you have an upward curve and downward. Here we go. Here comes the ripple. This is the way it's working out. And then you double crochet in the next 6 chains again. And this is your pattern all the way to the end. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. And now we're ready to do 3 doubles in the same stitch. If you lose track of where you are, you did double crochet 3 together, then you did 3 double crochets in 1, double crochet 3 together, and now we're back to 3 double crochets and 1 chain. And this is making your up and down ripples. It's 2 and 3 doubles all in the same chain. And I'm going to go all the way to the end, and I'll meet you at the end. You just alternate, just like we showed you. Okay, we are down to the end of the row. According to instructions, you should have 7 ripples. And they don't tell you what a ripple actually is, but I'll tell you what it is. Each peak and valley basically is a ripple. And if you have 7 of those, like this is the peak and this is the valley, you will have 7. Each peak and valley counts as a ripple, basically. So you're supposed to have 7 ripples. And if you have 7 ripples, you have done it correctly. And according to this, you go all the way to the end here. And in the last chain, it says in the last chain, you put 2 doubles in the last chain, and I have ended up with 1 chain left. So I've done a valley, and I was ready to do a peak, and that would be the right place for it. And you would do 2 double crochets in the last chain. So that would be the way you end the first row. Okay, so that is the end of our first row. Now I'm following along with this pattern because every ripple pattern is not the same. I'm going to turn my instructions. This is a crochet along. This is not really a tutorial, although you will learn a lot from just following along if you're a new crocheter. All right. Now, we're going to turn our work. Since I'm not changing colors yet, I'm doing 2 rows of each color. I'm not changing colors. So on the second row, you chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. I'm just following instructions just like you would follow instructions. Right? All right. Now it says 1 double in each of the first 7 double crochets. Now I need to go back to the beginning and see, do they count the chain 3? Yes. The chain 3 at the beginning counts as a double crochet. So you would not chain a double in this stitch because this chain 3 is counting as a double. So if you're doing a double crochet in each of the first 7 double crochets, you would not start with this one because that counts as a double crochet. But do a double in each of the 7 doubles. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I would not have as much trouble with this yarn if I was working off of a regular skein of yarn, but I'm working off a giant skein of yarn, and it is not wanting to cooperate. Okay, so I'm doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Right there, 7. So, oops, I lost my loop. So, you chain 3, and you've done a double crochet in each of the first 7 doubles. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you've done double crochets in each of these 7 double crochets. Now it's time to double crochet 3 together. Right? So you're going to double crochet 3 together, and the bottom of this, where this hits, this counts as 1 double crochet because you have double crocheted 3 together and made it into 1 stitch. That means this is 1 stitch. So if you're double crocheting 3 together, this is gonna be your first double you're putting together. 1, 2, and 3. Okay. All right. 1 double in each of the next 6 double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. Then it says 3 doubles in the next double crochet. So that would actually be the last one of the previous. This is kind of, it's going to seem odd to you, but you just have to follow the instructions and trust the process. Because I've tried to second guess patterns before and it doesn't always work out well. Most patterns are written fairly well. Hang on just a minute, let me get some more yarn out of here. This is getting really ridiculous. So wait, this is not feeding right. Okay. Okay. All right. So double crochet 3 together. Let me fold this piece of paper so I'm not having to look at so much at the same time. That would be very helpful. Okay, there we go. All right. So, all right. So double crochet 3 together, and then a double in each of the next 6 double crochets, and we're basically following the same pattern as the first row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. Oops, lost it there. Ignore my chickens. Okay. Then you would double crochet 3 together. So you would double crochet. The 3 together from the previous row counts as 1. So the base of that one is the first double crochet. Go into the second double crochet, pull through the first 2 loops, go through the third double crochet, pull through the first 2 loops. And then you yarn over and pull through all those 4 loops. Hang on, let me shut these chickens up. Okay, sorry about that. All right, we double crochet 3 together. And we're doing the same thing that we did on the first row. Then do it double in the next 6. Let me release more yarn here. It'd be nice if I could put this in a tub or something where it would just release better instead of laying it on the table. This is a big old skein of yarn. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. And then we put 3 doubles in the same stitch. We just alternate the same as we did on the first row. Three doubles in the same stitch. Now we double in each of the next 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And that puts us back on top of the double crochet 3 together from the first row, and then we have to double crochet 3 together again. So this is the first, the base of that is the first double crochet. There. Go the second double crochet, pull through the first 2, go through the third double crochet, pull through the last 2, and you'll have 4 loops on the hook and pull through those 4, and there you go again. You see how the ripples are getting larger? Once again, go through the next 6. And this is the same thing you're going to do. I'm going to meet up with you at the end and show you what you do at the end of this row. Okay, we are at the end of row 2. So, I'm down to the last stitch. It looks like I've run out of stitches, but if you remember, this chain right here counts as a stitch. It counts as a double. So, no matter what you do, the last stitch, even if it looks like your short one, if you didn't get 6 in here, remember now we're offset here, so it makes sense it would have run out before you got to 6. But the last stitch, you're going to have to put 2 double crochets. And we're going to change colors here. I've already done these 2 rows, so we're going to change colors to this nice little hosta color, Karen Simply Soft here, and I'll show you how to do that. So we're going to, for those of you who are changing colors, now you may not be changing colors. If you're not changing colors, it's not a big deal. But we're going to do the first double, and then we're going to do the last double, but stop short so that we can change colors. So when you change colors, you leave the 2 loops on the hook, okay? just grab your new yarn here, leave your tail so you can tie it in later, and you finish your double with the new yarn, okay? And you're going to end up doing a chain 3, so you might as well chain 3 and it'll kind of anchor it in there, right? So there this will be the 3rd and 4th color. Now let's see, here we go. So we're going to cut off this. Now a lot of people don't cut these, they just leave the yarn, but this ball of yarn is so huge I can't do that. So I'm going to cut this yarn here. I'm going to cut this yarn here. And what I'm going to do is, see if this, I think this thing got off a little bit. Must have hit it. This tail here and this tail here, I'm going to just lightly tie it together just to kind of keep it from going anywhere. And we're ready to do the 3rd row. I'm going to turn the work here. Okay. Now this is different. This is different. Okay. Now you're going to work in the back loops only, except for the first 2 stitches and the last 2 stitches of the row, which are worked in both loops. So you're going to do 1 double in each of the first doubles. So the first 2 stitches, you're going to do it in both loops. So that's 1 and then 2. The rest of the 7 doubles you're going to do in the back loop only. So you're going to double. So if you turn this to the top, you see 2 loops in this V. See the V right here? This is the front loop. This is the back loop. So you're going to do a double in the back loop only. So you're only going to go in the back loop. So this is the 3rd double, the 4th double. Okay, now this is a new skein, so it's kind of tight pulling out. It's center pulling, but it's pulling out tight. Okay. Remember, back loop only, except for the first 2 and the last 2 stitches of the whole row. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay. See how that's looking? It's looking pretty good. Okay. Then you double crochet 3 together like we did before. And when you do that, you're going to work in the back loops only. Okay. Back here. 1, 2, and 3. Okay. It tends to make ridges, so okay. Then you've done double crochet 3 together in back loops only, and then you're going to do 6. You're going to do double crochets in the next 6, same as we did before. It's basically the same pattern, except that we're doing it back loop only now, except for the first 2 stitches of the row and the last 2 stitches of the entire row. So it's added a little element there. It's going to make it a difference in the way it looks too. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then here we're going to do doubles, do 3 doubles in the same stitch, all in the back loop only. Okay, 1, 2. Oops, it pulled back on me. Sorry about that. Okay, that was 1 double, 2 doubles, and 3 doubles. Back loop only. All right. Sorry, my metal hook is hitting the legs of the tripod. Oh, I wish I had my overhead tripod. I don't know if I'll ever have that. I'll have to get another one. This company's not working out for me. Okay, then you do the double crochets in the next 6. So in back loop only. Remember, don't forget the back loop only. That's going to make you a nice little ridge and a lot of texture in your piece. Okay. So. Okay. Pulling this yarn doesn't feed out easy because it's a brand new skein of yarn. I tell you what, this Caron 1 pound, and by the way, Caron 1 pounds are not 1 pound anymore. They used to be over 1,000 yards. Now they're 800 and something. Lion brand Pound of Love is still over 1,000 yards. Caron 1 pound is not. So obviously it's not 1 pound anymore, but it's softer than this brown Red Heart Comfort. I'd put it that way. Okay, so we're still here. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And we're back to double crochet 3 together, and still remember to do the back loop. Hang on just a minute. Okay, sorry about all the noise and the phones. I went ahead and went down to the end of the row, just like we'd been doing. And remember, it said you, except for the first 2 stitches and the last 2 stitches, you work them in the back loop. Well, we're down, and at the end of this row 3, it says go to the last stitch and 2 doubles in the top of the chain 3. Well, those 2 doubles would be the last 2 stitches. So top of the chain 3 would be right here. So if you're going to do that, then you're talking about working in both loops here. So those would be the last 2 stitches in the top of the chain 3. So that's 1 double and 2 doubles. And then you would chain 3. Now those were worked in the back loop only. And when you turn this, I'm not going to keep going too far, but let me tell you what the reasoning is about the back loop only. On row 4, it says working in both loops. So what they're doing is they're only doing back loop only between colors. That way it stands out, it raises it up and separates the colors. That's what they're doing. So when you're doing this, you're not going to do back loop only because you're working in the same color. That's what they're doing. They're differentiating the colors. You see how this is ridged up right here? Because the back loop only, that's right here, that's between colors. And so that's your logic behind the back loop only. That's going to be to separate the colors visually more than just by the color. Make it stand out a little bit better. So, and basically you've got the same thing in row 4 except for working in back loop only, and every time you change rows you're going to end up working in back loop only is what I'm thinking. And then row 5 to 66 rows. It's got 66 rows in here. So I hope you have a good time doing this. If you have any questions, let me know. I hope it was clear enough. I hope you could see this well enough. I think you can. And let's just pray that my tripod eventually gets here, or they give me a refund so I can get me a different one. Or my husband will make one or the other. So anyway, that's pretty nice, huh? You like that? That's pretty cool. So you've made, when you double crochet 3 together, that's a decrease. And when you double crochet 3 in the same stitch, that's an increase to make your ridge, and your ridges are the increase, the valleys are the decrease. Double crochet. So you see what I'm saying? I hope this worked out okay for you. Let me know how it goes, and if you want to send me a picture of your completed project when you get it done, the email is in the About section of this channel. Hope this was helpful, and happy crocheting, everybody. Bye.